Домики тут красивые, хочу показать, попробовать.
Way back when, before these things, long before the internet, I'm sure if you heard about a celebrity doing something that you might be interested in doing, you might want to do the same thing yourself. Nowadays, celebrity doesn't seem so exclusive anymore. So let's think back to a time long before social media, long before the internet. Stay in this old-time mind frame, or remember it anyway. We're going to come back to it. As we round the bend here, yet another border crossing is coming up. You're going to see the Whirlpool Bridge here on our right. This is the closest point on the gorge between Canada and the U.S. And this bridge isn't exactly for public use. It is what it isn't. You need to have a special card to cross the bridge. You need to apply for it and pay for it. It is called the Nexus security card. It allows for fast travel between Canada and the U.S. Comes with an extremely thorough background check, criminal, and all the like. We have an attraction here on our right called the Whitewater Walk, the boardwalk by the rapids. Their claim to fame is that they can get you as close as possible to the most dangerous rapids in the world. That's what's down and to our right. As close as possible to the Category 6 rapids of the Niagara River, while keeping you dry. Now there is one way to get closer, but it's not a conventional way. Now you'd think water, right? Boats. Well, you're right, but these are rapids, whitewater rapids. People like to go rafting down them, for example. Canoes, kayaks, rafts. These things would be illegal to take on these waters, as you would not survive how dangerous these waters are. There's a company here in Niagara Falls in the area that does tours along these waters. They are called the Niagara Whirlpool Jet Boat Company. You heard me right. I said jet boat. They are powered by jet engine. Anything less powered than that, outboard motorboats, yeah, manual powered boats, no chance of survival. Just to be real with you, that's really how it is. Major rapids down and to the right. You might see something red and yellow running along some cable lines, celebrating its 100th birthday. It's the Whirlpool Aero Car. Keep your eyes fixated on the right, above the gorge. I saw it a second ago. Yeah, a 100-year-old attraction as of this summer. Here it is coming up on the right, a cable car or gondola ride that goes over these dangerous rapids. The point here in the river takes a very sharp bend and a small whirlpool forms. It's actually really not all that small. It is quite large. Keep an eye to the right, the red and yellow Whirlpool Aero Car. I think it was just coming back from its trip, or is it just going out there? It is. Keep your eyes to the right there. It's to be noted that both parts of the ride are in Canada, so if you keep on looking to the right, you should see it in action. We are going to come around to the other side of it very soon, so if you didn't see it now, don't worry about it, it'll come back up. As we cross this next intersection, please keep your eyes to the left, and you're going to see the only year-round aerial attraction in Niagara Falls. It's the Niagara Helicopter Company. You can take helicopter tours of Niagara every day of the year, depending on the weather. If the weather's too bad, they won't run the choppers. It's a unique 12-minute tour. You probably see more in this 12 minutes than you could see in 12 hours on the ground. In a car, on a bike, on foot, you name it. Pretty unique tour. So I mentioned this old-time mind frame, hoping you can get back into that mindset. Let's think back to the early days of the United States. The third vice president, his name was Aaron Burr. He had a daughter named Theodosia. She got married. She took her honeymoon here at the Falls. She came back to her trip ranting and raving, absolutely in love with the Falls. When people heard about the vice president's daughter taking her honeymoon here, they thought, well, if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. Wanted to take their honeymoon here. Lots of people did that. Based on her review alone, she convinced her father, the vice president, to come for a visit to the Falls. Again, when people heard about the vice president casually paying a visit to the Falls, they thought, well, maybe I should go too. Now you consider that an extra bonus halftime, if you will. Eyes to the right, friends, see what you can see. More of the rapids, maybe the Whirlpool Aero Car in action. Another honeymoon that was taken here, a very well-known couple. You might know the groom, or at least the groom's brother. Napoleon's brother, when he was stationed in New Orleans, Louisiana. Got married down there. Took a stagecoach all the way down there to all the way up here, if you can imagine that, right? And how the popularity of this is a honeymoon destination. And the third event, a media event. A movie simply entitled Niagara, starring one of the most beautiful women to have ever lived, Marilyn Monroe. When people saw the beauty of Miss Monroe against the backdrop of the beautiful Niagara Falls and area, everyone wanted to come visit the falls then to follow in her footsteps. And to be perfectly honest, friends, that's pretty much exactly why I took this job. So I could be just like Marilyn every single day. What do you think I do in my, you know, in the time while you're roaming around the falls? I recreate all the scenes. That's truthfully why it was late, actually. I got really wrapped up in wearing the white dress. Never mind, I don't want to talk about it. Of course, I'm just kidding around. You saw the chaos that were the streets. We've got this golf course here. It's a big draw to the area. We have many award-nominated and winning golf courses in the province of Ontario. We are actually going to see North America's oldest 9-hole golf course in Niagara-on-the-Lake, as long as traffic permits there. We're going to be coming upon the Niagara Park's Botanical Gardens, the Niagara Butterfly Conservatory, and the Niagara Arboretum. These are all taken care of by the Niagara School of Horticulture, which is coming up on our left as well. The School of Horticulture is where you're probably going to want to enroll to enhance your gardening prowess, perhaps turn it into a career, a very lucrative one in this area, undoubtedly. Keeping the green space of this area looking beautiful is a big job of the Niagara Parks Department, or the Parks Commission, forgive me, the NPC. They work closely with the School of Horticulture to help keep the area beautiful. It's where you might go to develop what some like to call your green thumb, or green fingers, as others like to say. Anybody want to enroll? Should I pull over? You good? Keep on going? Alright, no problem. Maybe next time. So we talked a little bit about hydroelectricity. I just talked about the ruins of a power plant. Many of the hydroelectric power plants have been shut down due to inefficiency. So as we could open a couple of huge ones, like for example off the bus to the right across the gorge, the Robert Moses Power Plant of New York State. Look at that, it generates more power than the Hoover Dam. Now I know what you're wondering, Michael, are we not in Canada? Why are you showing us the American power plant? Well, guess what? It's a little hard to see the Canadian power plant because we're driving on it right now. Take a look how that power plant has a parkway on top, just like this one. We are on the Sir Adam Beck Power Generation Station. We are also at the deepest point in the gorge, the highest. We are also 11 kilometers away from the falls. This is where the falls began 12,000 years ago, as estimated by scientists. You remember I talked about the erosion rate. The falls have been eroding from the second they were created. Well, this is where they began, and they have moved back 11 kilometers to where they are today. We cannot stop the erosion. You come back to the falls in about 300 or 400 years. Who knows what's going to happen? Well, first off, you'll probably still find me giving tours, but they'll be gone, let's put it that way. So we still got some life in the falls there. The Niagara Parkway that we are on here was the prettiest Sunday drive in the world by Sir Winston Churchill. Told you that name would pop up once again. He took this drive during World War II times. Yes, indeed, Prime Minister of the UK. What was he doing driving around Canada during World War II? Major war going on in his backyard, yet he was here. Well, he actually ended up in the province of Quebec for a very secretive meeting featuring himself, Canada's Prime Minister, and the American president, they called the meeting the Quebec Summit to drum up support for war. Appropriate that we start talking about wars. We're going to head towards an area that was very much war-torn once. As we round this bend, we're going to hear a familiar name, Sir Isaac Brock, General Brock. In the distance up ahead of us, a very tall war monument dedicated to a very tall man. Said to be a head taller than the average soldier, Brock's monument stands in the distance. It'll be to your left once we start rounding the bend to the right. A recreation of the leader of the British Empire Loyalist forces during the American invasion, a tribute to a man from Guernsey, Upper Canada, was only the size of the province of Ontario. Effectively becoming Canadian when she came up here, she left America because it had broken away from the British colonies, and she didn't like this one bit. Now, with her coming up here, by the way, she wasn't even the only one. Many, many, many Americans made their way up here. But they were really British, and they were just hoping to live in a British colony. They still felt strong ties, well, strong loyalty to the royalty, if you will, put it very basically. So, to be British, you had to live up here in a colony of Britain. Laura was living happily up here, so were many people up in this area. Until one day Laura received a knock at her door. She answered it to find American generals staring at her in the face, essentially saying, "Mine now." Yeah, they invaded. They came across the Niagara River. They occupied this area. This was a strategic maneuver to move towards a nearby military installation, which was known as Beaver Dams. With them taking over Beaver Dams, which they didn't do just yet at this point in the story, hear me out. Their plan was to take it over and make the British colony of Upper Canada American, effectively taking Canada over. Now, Laura didn't want this. They tried to sell, or what's the word, advertise, you might say, this invasion as a liberation. They wanted to help us not be British. Now the thing is, everyone living here was British and was quite happy about it. Essentially happy about not being in America. So, Laura felt that she had to do something about this. She thought she had an advantage considering the generals were in her home. Other soldiers from the infantry, etc., were occupying all the other homes. She overheard the generals planning an attack. Something she shouldn't have heard of. She thought this was her opportunity to strike. The morning of the apparent attack, she broke out of her own home at great danger to herself and her family, narrowly evading the sights of American troops under the guise